In this episode, we're going to take a look at a figure from a toy line that I convinced myself I was passing on. Well, as usual, I was wrong. So, stick around. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name is Rob, and like I said, we will be taking a look at an action figure from a toy line that I was convinced I was making a hard pass on. Yeah, I was wrong. They put out one that made me overlook my dislikes for this toy line. Now, the toy line is from McFarlane Toys. It's their DC Direct, DC Universe, whatever figure line. And I think the figures look great. They're really good sculpts. They look like they have very good posability. And Walmart has them left and right. I mean, they are a very well-stocked toy line. So, what's the thing that I don't like about it? The scale. It's not 6-inch, it's not 8-inch, it's right down the middle at 7-inch, which I find very odd, and just kind of assuming Todd McFarlane wanted to make his own mark on the action figure universe, and that's what he did. Picked 7-inch. And yeah, he has a lot of great franchises under the McFarlane Toy banner, DC being one, and a bunch of anime that I love, like Naruto, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer. I don't know about the Naruto thing. I'll have to check on that. But anyway, at least My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer, two of my favorite recent animes. Anyway, I can't get over the 7-inch scale because it does not fit into my Toy Time universe, my Playtime universe, or what have you, like I've mentioned in the past. Well, I saw one that I loved the design of it, and I thought, you know what, if its scale is a little bit bigger, it kind of works, because it's Barbarian Batman. Really takes me back to the DC Legends line that Kenner put out, where they did Batman in different eras, like Zorro, a pirate, what have you. This is Barbarian Batman, and like I said, if his scale is a little bit taller than the 6-inch scale, it kind of fits. He's a big hulking barbarian, so I thought I would take a chance and get this one. Now, this just came in the mail today, which this is Friday that I'm filming this, and I actually got an alert from Amazon earlier in the week saying, you know what, we're having a hard time getting this toy from the manufacturer, so you need to confirm if you're willing to wait. And I confirmed. I had no idea how long the wait was going to be. Then all of a sudden, boom, it's on my doorstep, so really weird. So anyway, let's take a look at Barbarian Batman. This little 4-figure line that they have looked fantastic. I would have loved to get all the figures in it, but for $25 a pop, I wasn't in the market to spend $100. But they have Batman, Batgirl, Robin, and Mr. Freeze. And I believe this is, the comic inside says, Fighting the Frozen. But one thing I loved was Mr. Freeze. That looked very reminiscent of the Big Daddies from BioShock. Just kind of steampunky, big, chunky. Yeah, I kind of regret not getting that, but maybe one day I will. If I like this enough, who knows? But a lot of the other figures I'm going to take a pass on, especially like my favorite DC character, Green Arrow. The only one that I've seen is from the Injustice games, and yeah, it just doesn't look like the type of Green Arrow I would want in my collection. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's take a closer look at him, his accessories, and snap some photos. So, here we go. Okay, here is Barbarian Batman. First off, it comes with a comic, Batman Fighting the Frozen. I don't know if this is a in continuity story or not, but taking a look at the collectible card that it came with, the story is that after a mishap with Mr. Freeze, Batman and his cohorts and Mr. Freeze himself have been teleported back in time 16,000 years. Yeah. So I don't know if that holds up with that it's canon or just created for this toy line. I'm kind of disappointed. I thought we were just going to get, Batman through the ages type of barbarian Batman. But they are saying that that is Bruce Wayne himself. But nothing stopping me from using my imagination. The accessories that he comes with, other than the comic, the card, and a stand, are a stone battle axe and this stone club was kind of a Batman-esque symbol made of stone. So that's pretty cool. But just with my limited playing with it, he seems very well articulated. So we'll take a look at that a little bit more closely with the poses that I can put him in when I snap a few pictures. But I mean, like, his feet are jointed, his ankles are jointed, knees. Of course, his arms have a bunch of mobility. The only thing that doesn't is his head and neck, which makes sense with Batman and his cowl. So, I mean, just sight alone, I really like this figure. And like I said, he's a barbarian. I've really wanted to get more fantasy toys into my collection, and this dude fits. And I'll have to put it in one of the pictures, but I'm really interested to see how this stacks up with the NECA Dungeons and Dragons figures. So we'll pose him with Warduke and see what kind of magic we can do. Oh, and just real quick, the background, I just threw together something real quick that kind of gives it a snowy, background. And yeah, got a couple rocks, a stick there. So let's see what kind of fun we can have and take some pictures. Okay, I had fun posing the Barbarian Batman, but it definitely has some shortcomings. Mind you, it is articulated in so many different ways, but there's so many things that hamper that movability. One of them being his arms are just so big that I tried to pose like him holding the axe over his head and different like swinging type movement, and it's hard for him to grasp the axe and try to pose with it at the same time. I did the best I could in some of the photos, and I included Warduke in the one photo, but he also has a limited mobility, even though he's very well articulated. And surprisingly, the McFarlane toy has a lot more points of movement than the NECA Warduke has. I mean, Warduke is a fantastic figure, but when it comes to as much, articulation as the McFarlane toys, it lacks a lot. But the different the muscle size, his outfit hampered it. He has like big gauntlets. Of course he has the Batman spike gauntlets, but how they're built up around his wrist, they are steady, and the wrist is still movable around it, but it's still, kind of hampers the whole, movement of the wrist. But I'm very happy with it. I don't know if I'll be rushing out and buying any more. I know I have my eye on the Ocean Master figure that came out for the Aquaman line, and of course there were some previous releases that I kind of wish I would have bought and didn't, like the Dark Knight Returns Batman in the armor. There's also a Dark Knight Returns, just in his normal outfit, just super muscular like in the comic, things like that. But all in all, I'm not a super huge fan of their designs. Like I said, they do a lot of the Injustice game versions of the characters, and I really like the game, but not a super fan of the designs in figure form. If I wanted a DC figure, I want a classic version. Now, there is a Lobo figure that, I really want to get, and I see it on Amazon time and time again, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. I might now, because I see what McFarlane Toys has to offer. The only other McFarlane toy I think I have in my collection is a Deku figure from My Hero Academia, and my only disappointment in that is the scale, because when you put him next to like a 6-inch figure, he doesn't have the build of a teenager. He looks, like an adult, like the 6-inch figures. But that's just me, and, my wacky playtime universe of jamming different, genres and figures and, universes and franchises together. But, yeah, that's how I have fun. So, anyway, I felt like the pictures were kind of lacking, but that came from just lack of mobility, and I'll play with them a little bit more, and maybe if I get some more like fantasy themed figures, I'll throw him in the mix and see what kind of magic we can create. And also, sorry about the snowy backdrop, that was just a spur of the moment thing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Oh, let me just say, I think it's a nice figure. I do recommend it. If it was a few dollars more, I would say drop everything and go get it. But for $25, you'll know if it's for you or not. But I think it's a pretty solid figure regardless, other than its shortcomings. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and enjoyed this, or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you'll be notified whenever there's a new episode. So anyway, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Keep being rad, and stay dorky.